Editor Sam here. I just wanted to pop in before the video starts and just give you a heads up that the audio is just scuffed for most of this episode. At the beginning, the the microphone sounds a little tinny, and so I had to fix that. And then somehow my inputs all got mixed up. So in the second half, all of my audio is on one track instead of two tracks. So there's a couple little technical difficulties in here. It's all it's all bearable. It's not anything that's like too terrible, but I wanted to give you all a heads up and let you know that I am aware and that is not how it'll be in the future. So thank you so much for understanding. I hope you still enjoy, and I will see you when I am back from vacation. Well, welcome back. My name's Sam, or Erfaren, whatever you want to call me. And today we are actually going to start working on our final villager trading building warehouse set of storefronts. I haven't really decided exactly what it's going to be yet. I've got a couple ideas in mind, but today for sure we're going to do a zombification chamber and start the tunnel that I had started talking about in the last episode, and we'll at least get most of that done and maybe see how far we can get into building the villager trading hall when that's done. As you can see, we also kind of have a shulker problem, as well as all these shulkers that are in my inventory. Not to mention the fact that we have no more space to put any shulkers in here once I do put all these shulkers back, and some of these ones as well. So sometime soon, we've really got to actually figure out a storage system, but I think that's an after vacation problem, because like I said, after this episode, I'm going on vacation. But without further ado, I think let's have a little sleep. I did a couple of things in between episodes, like I added this staircase and this glass up here so I could supervise that and make sure it's all looking good. And then I stood and I AFK'd for some wood for a while, so I guess I'll run over there and show you what I got. It's not anything too crazy, it's just a couple stacks, a few different stacks of the spruce logs, which we'll definitely need for the tunnel, or at least the idea for the tunnel that I have. And then I built this little safety chamber so that I could stand here safely while this produced bone meal for me. But let's go ahead and sleep, and then we will run over to where the villagers are at and actually start planning this out. So the plan that I've got is to build kind of like a lab, like a laboratory attached to where we have the villager breeder, where, like, you know, a mad scientist is figuring out how to, you know, turn villagers into zombies and turn them back to see how it improves their ability to do certain things. You know, we gotta come up with some form of lore for that, but that's the idea that I've got for this. And like I mentioned the last episode, it's gonna go somewhere in this region. But the first thing I actually need to figure out is where on the cliff over there does it line up with this. So the number that I'm looking for is our X value. So as you can see up in the top left corner, I don't know why my frames are dying. It's probably from how many villagers are, oh goodness. Okay, well, as you can see in the top left corner, we've got, you know, negative 726, 725, 724. So that's between these ones. So what we want to figure out is which one of these connects to the edge of the cliff, because that's where I'd really like to have this end up. So I'm just going to stay on this negative 724 and just fly this way and see how it all lines up. And then that will decide for us where we're actually going to start digging to make sure that we do line up. And I think I'm going to have this be like, you know, a 6 or 7 block wide thing. So it'll definitely be important to pay attention to. Okay, so the wall itself is, I don't know, what, 2 blocks in from here? Here, let's actually dive over here. So to really get this to line up, we are currently at negative 710. I probably want to have this go to, like, I don't know, negative, maybe we just do it at negative 700 as the farthest left side of it. So I think that answers my question. I believe I'm stuck now, though. Let me out, let me out. It's fine. We do have an axe for a reason. All right, so negative 700 is the plan. Let's head back over here. And that's not really important right now for us building the villager zombification chamber. However, I do still want to mark it out just so that we know where to line up the zombification chamber with the rest of everything else. And it appears it might just be right on this house. Like pretty close to this house. So this is where one edge of the tunnel will be. And like I said, I do want it to be kind of wide. So we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll do it like that. And then I believe that'll be 1 block center. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, we are off by a block. I want to go there actually. So we'll do like that. So it'll be 3 there and 3 there. So this is how wide I think I want the tunnel to be. It lines up perfectly on this corner with that 700 that we mentioned earlier. And then I don't know, I kind of like the width of it being pretty wide so that it just kind of looks like it goes on forever when we're actually looking at it. However, it's not going to be built right here. It's going to be underground a good couple of blocks. So now that we know where that's going to be, it makes me wonder if we should build the lab room over here, or if I want to build it over here and then just have another section of the tunnel run into the village. I don't know. I think maybe I will build it over here and we'll just do a little connecting minecart path underneath that isn't anything special. Yeah, I kind of like how that sounds. How many villagers do we have over here? Far too many. And they're still doing fine. How many are there? Any babies still? There are. There's a load. There's 4 of them right there. Oh, one of them screwed up. 3 of them. All right. Well, so I guess there's the plan. The only thing really to do now is clear out this space and get to work. So I am going to start digging a hole, and you get to enjoy a time lapse. I'll see you when it's done. Well, we've got that done. As you can see, I kind of went with that mad scientist evil laboratory. I know it's kind of different than the vibe that we were going with already for the series, but I don't know. I had the idea and I just had to do it, and I thought this was the best way to do it. I saw it in one of Zombie Cleo's videos using the new crafters like cupboards, because they really do look like cupboards, and then I even have things stored in them. So that's just awesome to me. But yeah, so let me walk you through this. So I am gonna eventually, I want to get like a creeper in there and maybe a skeleton or something else in here, and there'll be little test tubes in here. And then over here, I kind of have like a storage of different mushrooms and nether wart and things like that. And actually, I went and grabbed some of these so we can do that too. And then this is kind of the main part. So this is a design that I got from Bjork. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I saw her short and I was like, this is fantastic. So this design behind me, I really enjoy, and it works really, really well for the kind of transferring all these zombie villagers, and yeah, so thank you for that. Essentially how this works is down there, the villagers come from the villager breeder, and they come all the way over here, and they get their own individual stalls. And then actually, if I had all these down, whichever one I turned into a zombie wouldn't be able to turn the others into zombies, but I wanted them all to be zombies, so that's how that works. But essentially what happens from here is they have their staging area, and I get them hooked up to this system, which they all have a little button back there, you can see over there, that fires them in. They go and see the zombie, and I need to turn this off actually. And the zombie smacks them, turns them into zombie villagers, and then turn it back on, and they go back to their spot as a zombie villager. And then if I get out of the way and hide myself, they will actually turn the one that started will turn the rest of them into zombie villagers. But when I'm around for them to aggro, obviously that's not gonna work. But now what we need to do is get them all turned back into normal villagers so I can reap the benefits of that. So what I'm gonna do is I actually already got some splash potions of weakness cooked up, so we're gonna grab these, and I wonder if I can't get all of them on one, but let's see. So that is, I believe, all of them. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this going. I forget about how loud this is, but there we go on that. So those will go ahead and get changing, and this takes a little while, so we're just gonna sit and wait. But while we're at it, I could show you kind of some of the other things that I was working on and some of the other thoughts that I have. So the first thing, obviously you'll see, is this the nether portal. This just connects actually pretty close to the rest of our other portals, but I wanted to have a nice easy way to get to the village, and I thought this was a really good place to do that, because you'll see here, this is where the large tunnel is going to go that goes all the way to our cliff way off in the distance. And I have not obviously done anything with it yet. I just put some black concrete up to give the effect, but that is the next stage of this project is getting this all set and digging that massive hole forever. So yeah, we'll see how much we get done with that. We might need a beacon. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this all without a beacon, so we'll see what we end up doing. And then I've just got a mess of shulkers right now that I'll clean up eventually, but yeah. And then over here, this is where theoretically, if we've got villagers that maybe we've got too many villagers, or a villager isn't knocking down their trade or whatever, we can send it this way, and then we'll have a little villager purge area, which sounds really bad, but I just don't know what to do with the other villagers, and I don't really want to take them out on my own. So yeah. So that's really what this is all in here. Kind of design elements. You'll see I've got these pipes overhead that leak water everywhere, which I thought was a really cool element. I left some of the copper as unwaxed, so it would all slowly turn blue and kind of get that fun oxidized copper look. And then you'll see all these pipes connect into each one of these segments. And then this one's got a little bit of a vent hood, so it drips some water down on these to keep them alive, but then it's got like a vent that goes up and out. And then obviously the overhanging lights and the individual kind of research brewing stations. And then the last thing over here, I was over here already, but this is kind of like the command center. So like, you know, none of this actually, you know, does anything. Even this one doesn't do anything. The only one that does anything is this, which just turns off and on that. That's literally all this does, but I wanted like a viewing station where we could watch all this happen. And again, this is kind of supposed to be like a fume hood that goes out for any nauseous fumes or anything like that that comes from this process. I need to fill in that hole, and I have the means to fill in that hole. So let's do that. Oh no, do that really quick. Boom. Just gonna grab that. Sweet. So there you got it. That is the villager zombification hall. Again, this part behind me inspired by a design by Bjork, but the rest of it I actually am very proud to say I came up with on my own, and I really enjoy it. I kind of like the sporadic floor as well. I was trying to come up with an interesting, unique floor, and I think I did just that. Oh, some of our villagers are changing back. So what we should do now, because he's back, is we want to make sure that nobody's going to turn that one into a zombie again if we're not paying attention. So we'll drop all these down, and now the nice thing is they're not going to bug each other. They're just going to mind their own business when they change. Even if we walk away, they're not going to hit each other. So you'll see they're all turning back in. And now, theoretically, if we have done this right, we should be able to grab, let's see if I can find whichever place I put it into. We should be able to grab our lectern and start trading with any of these villagers and get significantly better trades with them. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll drop this back in there too. So while this guy's the only one over here, we can maybe try and get some going with him. That's not working, so we'll go over here. So now look, that is a 1 emerald protection 1 book. Obviously protection 1 isn't what we want, but it's the fact that it's 1 emerald is ridiculous, and it'll be like that for most trades. So we can get mending now for 1 emerald. We could get unbreaking for 1 emerald, and any of these things. And like I said earlier, and like I said in the other episode, I know we already have the mending villager and the unbreaking villager and all of that already going on, but I just figured since we got all this, we may as well just start over with the villagers and actually get them going in a way that we want. And now they're all changed back. So now all of these villagers should have the effect that I was just talking about of, yeah, a huge discount on everything. So we need to decide which one of these we want to actually turn into our librarians, which ones we want to turn into maybe Fletchers or cartographers or something to give us, yeah, look at that density for 2 emeralds. That's ridiculous. But which ones we actually want to have around our base, because we're gonna have a decent amount of space. Like the idea that I have is decently large, but it's still not, it's not massive. So I still need to be pretty succinct and I need to have a pretty good set selection of what villagers I want to have, because I only have so much space over there. So I guess the next bit of my life is standing here and trying to get these villagers to take their jobs. So I'm gonna do that. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I will see you when we've got some villagers that I am happy to hold on to. Alrighty, I'm getting another set of villagers cured up over there, but I'll show you the 4 that I did get over here. I actually ended up re-zombifying 2 of them because they weren't taking jobs at all, and then when they were taking jobs, they were giving like crazy prices, so I re-zombified those last 2. I also took down all the brewing stands because they were trying to get jobs from the brewing stands. But here's the ones that I have so far. So I've got Silk Touch for 1. I've got Mending for 1. I've got another Silk Touch for 1 because I couldn't decide whether I wanted 18 or 11. So we've got 11 here. And then we got Feather Falling 3 for 1. The problem with these Silk Touch ones is I just, you know, it just kind of depends on if this ever runs out for me. Like, I don't know whether I lose this, you know, 1 cost thing for, you know, 1 emerald thing forever. I don't know if that ever just disappears. So this having a lower price, I think, is better. So we'll have to dispose of this villager in a appropriate way at some point. But yeah, so that's what's going on right now. I do have to say though, this is really all the time I have. I have been really busy. Actually, as you probably saw in my community post, and then also from the post from today, my dog had to go to the vet because she has a very flippy happy tail. But then she had to go to the vet because she ended up cutting her tail open. So that's been all of my day today. I meant to actually get this a little bit more done today so that I could edit, you know, a little further into this video and get this tunnel going. But this is really all I have got time for it, and I need to pack because I leave for my trip very soon, and I kind of got thrown off today when there was the snapshot release. So yeah, so that's all the time I have for today. I know it's a little bit shorter, but thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you again on the 22nd when I'm back from vacation. Take care. I'll see you soon.